Continuing our series on the Grand Prix assignment, we are now looking at an overview of the men. The men event is packed and start off gun blazing. Right out of the gate, we've got war. Grand Prix de France is an important event for men because the PCS scores given here will be a clear indicator on what the judges and the federations are planning for the Olympic. So at Grand Prix de France, we have a Coliseum level battle between none other than Ilya Melanin and Adam Sionhim Fa. This is a head-to-head that we probably would not have seen until the Grand Prix finals, but nope, the skating deities are like, I want it now. I feel like program, packaging, consistency, and political cachet will all play a part in this battle. Aside from Adam and Ilya, this event also added Kyle Mura and Lucas Bucci into the mix. So right off the top, we have four very competitive, men who all either want to win or they want to at least be on that podium. With Kalmura having suffered so much injuries last season, he's coming back this season. He has a lot to prove. Similarly, Lucas Bucci also has a lot to prove coming back from injuries. I just feel like this is a lot. This is a lot. Another interesting aspect of this event is the battle for the U.S. men third spot for the Olympic. So let's say, if everything goes to plan, which it never does, the U.S. men team right now is Ilya and Jason Brown. So let's say those two are most likely locked in for 2 spots on the Olympic team. Again, nothing is guaranteed, but let's just say for saying sake. However, the third spot for men on that U.S. Olympic team is wide open. At this event, we will see 2 skaters, Maxim Nemov and Andrew Tokashev, who will be fighting for that third spot. Andrew, unfortunately, did not have the greatest Worlds outing, but he did have a great season. Maxim, of course, is the tragedy of his parents. I cannot imagine that. None of us can, and the fact that he will be here and will be continuing is just, guys, I don't even know like how to describe this particular situation. The it's it oh wow. How do you even deal with that? How do you even move on from that? How do you even pull yourself back together from that? The level of courage it must take to not completely crumble and to continue. But we will get to see him here trying to get an Olympic berth. And I feel like this will be the first time we will see him competing, because without his parents, because I believe both of them, or at least his dad, was his coach. Again, this is such a heartbreaking, sad situation, but they will be fighting it out for that third spot. Then we're gonna move on. We will get to see Boyan Zhang at Cup of China trying to make his 4th Olympic team. 4th Olympic team. I really want to see him back on top of his game. Our neighborhood Spidey Man on ice. He's such a fan favorite. He's a favorite of mine. Also at Cup of China, we're gonna see Jun Hua Cha. This will also start his Olympic bid, because I'm not too sure which of the senior Bs and challengers he's gonna be at. I can only pray and light candles to all the quad toe skating deities. This John quad toe. That quad toe really is his Achilles heels. Oh my goodness, The favorite going into this event is going to be Mikhail Shodorov. While I have complete faith in his jumps, I am praying that the programs and the packaging takes it to another level, takes it to the Olympic level for the Olympic season. I hope that Mikhail continues to work on his skating skills. Um, I really feel like Cup of China has everything but the kitchen sink in terms of competitors. Here at this same event, we also have Shun Soto. He is still working on breaking that 100-point barrier in the short program. If there's a season to do it, Soto, this is the season. We also have the always interesting Denis Vasiliev, who is coming here. I cannot wait to see the programs, the spin, the musicality. We're also going to have Sota Yamamoto here. The jumps may or may not show up for him. I'm very curious because we're going to see Daniel Grasso, who is beloved by the tech callers. Yes, every single tech caller in figure skating adores Daniel Grasso. Otherwise, I don't get his jumps call. I don't understand how these tech callers are calling his jumps, but the love for Daniel Grasso is there, and we're going to see if that love continues to be there, especially with the push from the Italian Federation behind Daniel Grasso. We will also see Jacob Sanchez in his senior debut here. He also has one assignment. However, that could change given how he performs throughout the season. So Jacob is making, his transition from junior to senior. Again, I felt like he should have just stayed junior for one more year but I guess the possibility of going to the Olympic is great, and I guess you got to shoot your shot when you can. Ilya is competing at Skate Canada instead of Skate America, which is an interesting choice. However, by competing earlier, Ilya will have the chance to make corrections for the finals. He'll have to rework his program if they need to, get his technical layout even firmer. So this is not a bad decision. An interesting one, but not a bad one. Kevin Amos will start his season at Skate Canada. And you already know, candles and prayers already. An entire aisle of Dollar Tree, $1.25 tree candle is going to be emptied out. That's just an automatic. Kalmura is also coming back from an injury. He will also be here. I'm hoping he took the time that he needed to properly heal and that he's coming back to competition fully healed. Another skater making comeback from injury at this event is Lucas Broussard. This is such a well-rounded, beautiful skater. Oh, he's got beautiful line, nice pointed toes. The back is arched. However, he will need consistency in quads. Not a quad, but multiple quad to really be in the Olympic team conversation because he's trying to make the U.S. men's team for the Olympic. And I feel like he's going to need to be consistent. He's going to need to be clean, and he's going to need at least a quad sow and a quad toe to really be in that conversation. All around, there will be lots of candles being burnt by me for this event. I think NHK, out of all the men's Grand Prix, can be the most interesting. This is one of the most well balanced in terms of the men abilities in all of the events. Boyang Jing will make his second appearance here, and I'm praying for his consistency. The real story here is Yuma Kageyama. Physically, Yuma is one of the most gifted skaters of his generation. When his jumps are on, it is a thing of beauty. However, mentally last season, he was shaky at best. I hope the team focused on his mental health and meeting that, mental preparedness that Huma need. I had wish that Huma kept one or both of his programs from last season, only because those programs were great. However, we never got to see them perform at 100%. So I don't know. So many of my favorite skaters will be at this event. Matteo Rizzo will continue his comeback from surgery at this event. I know the Italian Federation is not really behind Matteo, but I am behind you, Matteo. You could do it. Junwa Cha, and his quad toe will also continue their love triangle at this event. And again, more candles will be burnt by me. You're also adding to this list Lucas Brucci. And then we also have Adam Hagera. Both are interesting skaters capable of creating like interesting moments in their competition. We also have a continual battle of the American men trying to get that third spot for the Olympics. So here we're going to have Jimmy Ma, who is a short program skater, but he tends to falter in the long program. I feel like if Jimmy could give us a bang out short program and then keep it together for the long program and just continue to do that all season, his chances are looking good. And then we have Andrew Turgashev, who, under the right circumstances, can be a medal contender at this competition, or he could be 10th. There's just no middle ground. Another level to this is that these two men, I think either one of them would be a good addition to the U.S. Olympic team. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So much stress. So much stress. I feel like NHK should be one of the best lined up for the men's competition at the Grand Prix final. So when we move over to Skate America, which has a to be decided TBD spot, I wonder if US figure skating is going to give it to Maxime Neymar, Camden Polkinen, or Jacob Sanchez, or any other, skaters who only have one assignment. Or maybe they'll give it to Tomoki Hiratashi since he has no assignment at all. I am hoping to see some beautiful, interesting skating at this event because we have some beautiful, interesting skaters at this event. We have the darling of my heart, my aesthetic heart, Jason Brown is going to compete here. Corey Suselli is going to be here. Luke Economides is going to be here, as well as the ever always interesting Kevin Amos is going to be there. All of these are, again, interesting, beautiful skaters that definitely captivate the audience. We're also going to see Mikhail Shidorov. This is going to be his second assignment and his chance to wrap up a spot for the Grand Prix final. Again, I keep saying this. Mikhail has beautiful, solid Mishin jump technique. So I love to watch him jump. He is one of the few skaters that are jump oriented that I enjoy his jump. Why? His takeoff is beautiful, his air position is beautiful, his landing is beautiful. He has good height, he has good speed, he has good ice coverage. There is a stableness to his jump that brings my heart joy. So technically speaking, I think he's going to be solid. Packaging, please. Package him like he's a world medalist. I beg you. I mean, I feel like with so many interesting skaters at this event, anyway the podium goes, I would be happy. I would be happy anywhere this podium goes. Jason Brown will end the Grand Prix season at Finlandia Trophy. So he's basically doing back-to-back competition going from North America to Europe. Ooh, that is a lot of frequent flyer miles. I don't think it's a bad idea for Jason to compete later in the season because this gives him more time to work on the jumps. I still hope to see him on some senior B competition, some challenges. I've been looking through Twitter. I haven't seen any announcement of where he'll be competing as of now. the US is also getting another head-to-head for skaters who are vying for that third spot here, and that's going to be between Lucas Bassard and Jimmy Ma. These are two very different skaters, and each of them brings something to the table. We'll also have another strong head-to-head between Adam Sion-Hemfa and Yuma Kagiyama, and they are both going to be trying to, you know, get that spot to the Grand Prix final. Both skaters had moments last season. However, overall, their season was it was struggled. For Adam, it was injury. For Huma, it was just that mental strength to be consistent. So they're both coming back with something to prove. They are both hoping to leave that impression, that positive impression, on the judges. Oddly enough, these skaters, I would say, are opposite in their performances. Adam tends to like bomb the short program only to come fighting back in the free. Whereas Yuma, on the other hand, often has great short programs only to lose it in the long program. So for me, this head to head is especially interesting because you'll never know. I'm also looking forward to Denis Vasiliev, Mateo Rizzo, and Roman Sadovsky. Those skaters in that particular group are so interesting. They can have great moments, but then again, it could all fall apart. So we just don't know. We just don't know if the men are going to be menning this season or how it's going to go. But all in all, I feel like the final leg of the Grand Prix final, Finlandia Trophy, should be really, really interesting. So these are just like my uptake on the assignment, how I think it's going to play politically. But you guys, you let me know in the comment how you think men is going to play for the Grand Prix.